Hi, welcome to Tech Ranch, a place where you learn and earn technical skills in the most efficient way. JDBC API tutorial, Chapter 7 JDBC API Interview Tip. In this video, we will be discussing about interview preparation and sharing some technical questions about JDBC in detail. Before we start, let me brief you about interview preparation. There will be two types of interviews you'll be facing. Interview type 1 requirement based, interview type 2 experience based. Requirement based interviews will check job description and think about how you can contribute yourself in the team. And in experience type of interviews, your work experience is very important to explain, and employer will check your experience and see how can you be a good fit for the team. So based on that, you can apply for the interviews and prepare yourself accordingly. The very first thing what you have to start for the interview preparation is writing resume, your profile. Your profile is all about you and your work. You should be very careful what are you writing in your resume. Your education, your achievement, and your work experience should be mentioned in a proper way. That will be your very first impression to the employer. That will help you to get the short listed. Applying in a job portal will be the next step. And when you're applying, you have to make sure you're applying in the right place. So you have to check with the particular keywords, using the specific keywords for looking for the job. Once you applied in a job portal, you have to make yourself ready for the getting shortlisted. And once you get shortlisted, interview preparation is another challenge. Learn about the employer before going to an interview is the next step. And preparation of your interview. And for that, first question they will ask you, even they have the resume handy, is tell me about yourself or introduce yourself. So practice these questions number of times before going to an interview. And prepare your introduction script in a brief and very precise. Remember what are you writing in your resume should be matched in your introduction. And show those skill sets in a proper way what they have mentioned in the job descriptions. So that will help them to go for the next step with you. The next question after introduction is rate yourself. Employer or interviewer most of the time are looking for the being honest people or being honest candidate, faithful candidate. So you have to make sure you're saying beginner, intermediate, or expert, whatever type you are, or rate yourself in a proper way. If you just fresher and started working or fresher, you can mention that I'm a beginner. It's okay. They will have the set of questions accordingly. And during the interview, anyways, they will rate you and mention it in the feedback. That intermediate, yes, he said he was intermediate and he answered me the intermediate set of questions. So he is right, he is honest, and that's how they are going to judge you. So rate yourself is very important, and the next questions everywhere you will be asked. Let's discuss something about presentation tips and tricks. The technical knowledge is not just enough. They are going to judge your other skill sets too. Aptitude, life skills, whatever you mention it, whatever you name it. For example, problem solving skills. How will you take care of your problems? If you have a work-life balance or you are not able to focus in your interested and preferred work, so how will you handle it? That's the very basic thing they will looking for you. Or some kind of bug fixing during the work, they will see then how will you be able to take care of those skills. Confidence, definitely they will see if you are in a team player, and if you are in a team, they will see whether you are a perfect fit for the team or not. So based on that, they will check your personality, they will see your confidence level. Will you be able to keep your views in the team proper way. They will check your stress and pressure handling, that what all skills you need to take care, and will you be able to reach the deadline on time. So these things they will judge with your personality and yes, the technical knowledge. So JDBC type technical interview questions. Introduce yourself, we have discussed. You need to practice as much as you can. Rate yourself. Being honest is very important. Steps of JDBC connection. We have discussed in the chapter 2 in detail. So all you have to remember the steps, because they will ask you in a different way. They're not going to ask you a direct question, what are the steps of JDBC connection? They might be asking you in a different various ways. Well, like something like how will you write down the connection for registering the driver, or how will you write down for what will be the URL of Oracle database. So all you have to make sure you can do it and you remember those URLs syntaxes. Sometimes they will go in detail about it. What if in case it is not a local host, so what will you write it down in the IP address? So server IP address, which port they will ask. Sometimes they go in detail about this kind of questions. So you have to prepare yourself and answer it accordingly. Difference between execute update and execute query method. This is a direct question, but they will not ask you. Sometimes they will ask you in a different way. For example, if I want to execute update query with the help of JDBC API, which method I can use during the implementation? So accordingly you have to answer it like we use execute update to call the query, and before that you have to prepare it and precompiled it and some all in detail. Similarly, difference between statement, prepare statement and callable statement. So they will not ask you in a direct way, they will ask you in a different way. Difference between result set and row set. When will you use row set? When will you use callable statement? This is the way they will ask you the questions. When to use JDBC driver types. What if I have a native kind of database? Which driver type I will use to connect the database? How to use to access JDBC API methods and objects? Or sometimes they will ask questions in detail and go in the JDBC API like what purpose is for the connection pool, or what is the purpose of database metadata object. So these are the questions they will go in detail, and you have to prepare and get ready. Keep all the questions handy and be confident. Go for it. Good luck. Please subscribe to the channel and do not forget to press the bell icon to get more upcoming videos. Thank you. Let's make coding fun.